Hello and welcome to Tea Time. I'm Ginger Nelson here with my co-host Nettie Hatcher. And today we have Carrie Jones and Richard Payne on the set with us, and they are with Allen, Pritchett and Bassett right here in Tifton, Georgia, and they are certified public accountants, right?
Yes. And business consultants, yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Now, Carrie, can you tell us how long you've been with Allen, Pritchett and Bassett?
I've been with APB about 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
And you, Richard?
I've been with APB for 15 years.
15. How many employees does?
About 30. I have about 30 employees.
How many accountants do you know?
Say
15 to 17. It
Pretty big firm.
fluctuates a little bit.
yeah.
Big firm. So we're here to talk about taxes today. It is tax season.
That's right.
Y'all will be staying up late at night.
Unfortunately.
Won't get to see the family until, what, April the 16th?
Right.
Maybe a little later this year.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we take the 16th off as National Accountants Holiday, so that's all.
Right.
That's right.
Now, right off the bat, let's talk about who has to file a tax return. There seems to be a little bit of confusion about that, so maybe y'all can help clear that up.
Basically, it is, just dependent on a person's age, their income, and their filing status. Just because someone may not be required to file a return doesn't mean that they shouldn't sometimes, because there could be a situation where they could get a refund based on a refundable credit, or if they did have a little bit of withholdings or something like that, that could be refunded to them.
Okay, Carrie, so someone may not be required to file, but it may be beneficial to them. How will that person know?
That's a good question. There are some really great resources available on irs.gov. It's the Internal Revenue Services website. But then, of course, they could always call Allen, Pritchett and Bassett. We can help them as well. So anybody that may have a question about it, certainly we can help them. But then there's also the free resources available on the IRS website.
Can you give an example of someone who maybe doesn't have to file, but it would be beneficial for them to file?
It could be maybe a student that's had some withholdings. They may not necessarily be required to file based on their age, but they may have had some withholdings that could get refunded to them. Maybe they didn't have to have those withholdings. So.
Now, are all tax returns due at the same date, on the same time, or are there different dates for different filing statuses?
Pretty much. April 15th is the deadline for individual taxpayers. You can get an extension to October 15th, but that does not extend your tax liability. So even if you owe the IRS, then that money is still due by April 15th.
Okay. Gotcha.
But you can delay filing your actual tax return, but you would need to pay your liability in with that extension that you file for.
So those of you who actually have to pay taxes, you can get that extension, but your money is due on April the 15th.
Right. That's correct.
So why wait?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. And you mentioned about when tax returns are due. Corporate returns are due March 15th. And then if you have a non-profit organization, if it's a calendar year end, which would be 12/31, then it's due May the 15th.
Okay.
Now, are you finding that more people are filing online than used to? I know in previous years I can remember seeing on the news people lined up at the post office trying to get that postmark for April the 15th. Do more people file online now?
Yes, and it's easier. E-filing, I think we're required to file all of our tax returns at APB. It's if you are a tax preparer that prepares 10 or more tax returns, you're required to file your tax returns online. So or e-file. So we do e-file all of our clients' tax returns. Now, if someone was just individually preparing their own return, they may have the option of mailing in that tax return. But there are definitely some benefits for e-filing. You know that your tax return was accepted, because you can get, an automatic acknowledgement back. You can also get an automatic acknowledgement if there's some error with your tax return. It'll let you know it was rejected, and you can go ahead and fix whatever problems. There's also the benefit of being able to have your refund direct deposited. That really speeds things up. So, and then
if you owe taxes, can you pay online as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You can have it drafted. And as a matter of fact, just kind of a money-saving tip, I guess, if you do owe taxes, you can always file your tax return, say, February 15th, but you can wait and pay that money on April 15th.
Okay.
So you can set up, so you can hold on to your money.
That's right. Don't let them earn interest off of our money.
That's
And
right.
If you got the situation where you're getting a refund from, say, the state, but you owe the federal government,
Right.
get the state money back to help fund paying the federal government.
That
a
makes
good
sense.
idea.
Yeah.
So no longer having to sit in those lines at the post office
right.
and
No.
try to get that postmark anymore. You can just do it online.
That's right.
And to e-filing, it takes out the human error part of the tax return going into the IRS and someone having to key it into their system.
For the most part, filing taxes, is it easy on an individual? I mean, mine's a little bit more complicated, so therefore I have someone do it.
Right.
But for the average person, is it pretty self-explanatory, especially if you go online to do it?
Yes, there's numerous resources out there. Like I mentioned before, there's irs.gov. And irs.gov has a free file option for people who make less than $57,000. They do have some free file options. They also have a volunteer tax service that you can call in and ask questions, that sort of thing. Then of course there's always the over-the-counter software that you could buy at an office supply store. That's very helpful, and that'll walk you through questions that'll just kind of lead you through the process of getting it done. But then you can also have a paid tax preparer, such as ourselves. And I will say,
And that way you know that it actually gets done right.
That's right. And one of the biggest advantages of having a paid tax preparer is, we're there for you. Like if you do happen to get a notice from the IRS, we can help you resolve that. But we can also help make sure that you're taking advantage of any credits that are available, things like that, just to kind of make sure that you're taking full advantage of all your opportunities.
And what are some of the things you should look for when you're trying to find a tax preparer?
I think checking credentials, making sure that it's a credible accounting firm or tax preparer. All the CPAs are, you can check them on the Secretary of State's website. You can check those things out. And a lot of it is word of mouth, reputation, that sort of thing. If a business has been in business, for a long number of years, then that's real helpful too.
Yeah.
So.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment with more on Tea Time.
Just two big old boys, full of biscuits and chum. Beats all you ever saw, been a making us laugh, ain't doing no harm. Making us laugh, the only way they know how. That's just a little more fun than the law should allow.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
For over 42 years, Moon's Pharmacy has been committed to providing professional, friendly service, where our pharmacists welcome your questions, offer you overall lower drug costs, and free citywide delivery. While we still believe in good old-fashioned customer service, we also know the importance of staying on the leading edge of pharmacy innovations, such as travel and flu vaccines, custom compounding, and specialty packaging for homebound patients. Choose Moon's Pharmacy. Together, we can make a difference in your health.
Welcome back to Tea Time. We've been talking to Carrie and Richard, and they are with Alan, Pritchett, and Bassett right here in Tifton, and we have been talking taxes. It is tax season, tax time. Got to get those filed and sent in the mail or online, and I know that there have been some changes made to taxes this year, individual taxes. Richard, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, I'm sure everybody remembers hearing at the end of the year about the fiscal cliff, and what that really was that the tax items that Bush had put in were set to expire, and the government was trying to decide what they were going to do. And when you got the Democrats and the Republicans,
they can't make a decision.
They can't come together and do what's best for the people. Well, finally, they made a decision late. I guess it was New Year's Eve.
Really?
Last-minute deal. And basically what they've done is if you are an individual that makes $250,000 or less, basically everything's pretty much the same. Now, your higher income individuals, they are going to be taxed a little more, but there again, that comes into having a good tax professional help you minimize your tax liability. And basically the top rate has increased to 39.6%. That's if you have income of if you're individual, $400,000 or more. If it's married filing jointly, it's $450,000, which there again, there's the marriage penalty, so to speak. But pretty much, I hate to say everything's the same because it's really not, but in general, most taxpayers shouldn't see much of a change. Now, where they did see a change was starting January the 1st, the Social Security, that 2% got added back, which so your paycheck actually went down a little bit in January because now you're paying 2% more in Social Security.
And that really has affected a lot of people. A lot of people did notice a change in their paychecks when that amount went back up.
That's right. And, it's one thing if you're a higher income individual, not saying that money's not as tight for them, but, if you're a average income individual, then, that does, affect your take-home pay, which, affects your monthly living expenses.
Oh, yeah, because it all adds up.
That's right.
Now, we have a lot of small business owners in our area. Can you tell us about maybe tax changes or requirements that have taken place this year?
Well, the Section 179, that is when you have depreciable assets, the amount that you can write off the first year automatically. Now, there are some rules to when you can do that, but that limit is, for this year, is going to be $139,000 that you can take Section 179 on. The bonus depreciation, which that was set to be phased out, they've extended that for another year. So, the one thing about taking bonus over Section 179 is if you dispose of that asset, you potentially have to recapture the Section 179 as income, whereas if it's the bonus depreciation, there is no recapture. Not saying that if you sell the asset, there wouldn't be a tax consequence, but you don't have the recapture amount.
And I wanted to add real quick, y'all are probably sitting here thinking, Section 179.
This is why you layer.
Exactly. Which is, that's what I wanted to add to. You know, I did mention the free resources that are out there with the IRS, and that yes, you can buy a tax software package at an office supply store, but those are, that software is going to ask you really canned questions, and it's going to be very basic. As I was saying before too about paid tax preparers, accounting firms such as Allen Pritchett and Bassett, we can help you make sure that you're taking advantage of everything and you're not having to worry about what is Section 179.
Well, the tax laws appear to be changing constantly, and you seem like you've just got a database full of knowledge, and I'm sure that comes with the benefit of a paid tax preparer, that is all that they do is keep up with the laws and the changes, and that's very important.
Definitely, because we get new clients all the time, and you see some things that that were done on returns that maybe they weren't prepared by a certified public accountant or an enrolled agent, and a little questionable. So I think we would never. I shouldn't say never, but we won't charge you basically more than what we can save you is kind of a motto we like to.
Well, and another good thing about using a firm is that it's like Richard was just saying about new clients. We have such a diverse group of clients, and the partners at APB, one of the good things about it is everybody kind of has their own little specialty, and they're built-in resources for our firm. There may be something, say Richard gets a new client, and he certainly can handle the client, but he maybe he hasn't worked on that particular type of issue before, but there's another partner in the firm that has. They can bounce ideas off one another and just use those internal resources.
Right.
So.
I have a question. If someone is thinking about starting their own business, what exactly do they need to do, maybe their first year, so that they know that come, April, that they have done all that they are supposed to do to prepare for their tax return?
One of the biggest things I would suggest is just pre-planning. As we were saying at the beginning of the show, is not only do we do taxes, help our clients with that, we are also business consultants. So we do the full gamut of services for clients. There is the Small Business Development Center, SBDC. The website is sba.gov. And on that, there are many great resources for someone who's wanting to start up a new business. You can find information there about grants that are available, how to write a business plan, how to get those things together. And like I said, just really good planning resources there. Now we can help with a lot of times. A small business owner may need to get some financing, and the bank's going to want a projection put together of how do you foresee this business doing, what kind of income do you think you're going to make, what kind of expenses do you think you're going to have. We can help with putting together a projection package, getting all the loan documentation put together for the bank, those sorts of things. So, and really just advising the entrepreneur or the new business owner on how to do good record keeping so that whenever they do file their tax return, they're in good shape.
Now, Richard, I heard on WTIF this morning that there has been a change for farmers and the filing deadline. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, the farmers, normally if they file by March the 1st, since they don't have to pay estimated tax during the year, as long as they file by March 1st and pay whatever they owe, they aren't penalized for underpayment of taxes. With the delay that the IRS had with getting tax forms and the tax law, everything situated, they've now changed that to where now it's April the 15th, which is really the due date for a farmer anyway. But if you normally if you file April 15th and you owed money, you would be penalized for not having paid in tax. So, but I would recommend to any farmers watching the show today, don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead and get your information together and get it to your tax preparer and get it done.
And for them as well,
momentarily.
they could file an extension, but if they owe taxes, it still is due April the 15th, right?
Right.
Well, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment with more on Tea Time.
Hi everybody, I'm Kevin Sport, country music artist and host of the TV show The Right Place. Join us on Tuesdays and Saturdays right here on the Wirecast channel.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Do you have a need for speed? TIFFnet has new, faster internet, so you can upload and download in a flash. TIFFnet's internet is so fast, you might get an online speeding ticket. From your home, TIFFnet now has speeds up to 36 megabits. For business customers, TIFFnet now offers speeds up to 50 megabits. TIFFnet has also upgraded their existing speeds at no extra charge. TIFFnet, high-performance internet. Call today, 229-382-3003.
Welcome back to Tea Time. We've been talking to Richard and Carrie, and they are with Alan Pritchett and Bassett right here in Tifton, Georgia, and we've been talking taxes. Carrie, I know I asked you this question when we went to break. I know that there are several people who come in and they are disorganized and they just lay what they have out on the table, and they may have stuff.
Shoe boxes.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
They may have what they need and they may not, and you ask them where it is and they have no clue.
That's right.
How do you advise them?
Well, time is money. No, I mean, honestly, the more organized that the client can be in bringing in their information, the better.
May not be that bad of an idea.
That's right. That's right.
If they can't keep up with a
how
file,
organized it is.
That's right.
In the shoebox.
Throw
If
it
it's
in
an
a shoebox.
organized shoebox, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, honestly, we've seen things come into the office organized all sorts of ways. And you know what? And we do have some clients that are just not. Organization is not their strong point. And you know what? We work through it and we help them and we organize that information. But what is ideal is for someone to have all their information kind of put together. I would advise pretty much going down the order of the tax return, if that makes sense. Like, you know, putting your income together first, then putting together any expenses or tax deductions that you might have, such as, you know, your mortgage interest, any sort of medical expenses you may have, you know, putting those things together next. Then it would be, you know, putting together, if you have made estimated tax payments throughout the year, organize that, you know, let us know how much you paid, when it was paid, you know, maybe showing, you know, a copy of the canceled check or something like that. So, you know, if you're a small business owner, one of the things you can do, again, it kind of goes back to that over-the-counter software that there is. Many people are familiar with QuickBooks. That's something that if you're a small business owner, you can keep up with things in QuickBooks, and then it's a matter of printing out information or just giving us an accountant's copy of that so that we can retrieve the information we would need to. And then if you're not good at QuickBooks or just don't want to mess with it,
computers.
Exactly. Then that's something that we can do for our clients throughout the year. We can help them record their transactions throughout the year. We can reconcile their bank statements for them. We can do it on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, you know, just whatever would work for that client.
So they don't come to you just for tax season. They can come throughout the year.
That's right. And, you know, it's funny. A lot of people ask us, well, what do you do now that it's not April 15th? Well, we stay busy because there is, you know, just a wide range of services that we do provide for our clients. And you know, we can help with all things business. You know, and kind of going back to someone starting their new business, they may have questions about how do I put together some good controls for my business? You know, how do I deter employee theft or something like that? We can help them assess their internal controls, put together some processes, things like that, just so that they can keep their assets protected.
That's great.
Yeah.
I was just thinking when you said a shoebox, I don't know why this popped in my head, but I passed by, and I know he had to have been a farmer the other day. I passed by a farmer the other day in his truck, and the front dash looked like he had collected
that was his filing
all
cabinet.
his mail in the front.
It is hilarious.
He knows
where it
do
is.
they pull up to the account? I can just see him pulling up to the accountant and start digging.
That's
stuff
right.
out.
Well, it's funny. We have a term for that. It's called dashboard accounting.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. You know. So, but you know what? We can deal with it. We can handle it. And you know, a lot of farmers, they don't have organization on their mind. They're thinking about, is it going to rain today?
They don't have time.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we're here for.
We appreciate our farmers.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
Carrie, I know that you recently just had a workshop at the Leroy Rogers Senior Center here in Tifton, and to, I guess, help maybe someone who doesn't know a whole lot about preparing for their own taxes. Do y'all do that out in the community quite often, or if someone's interested, can they call upon you?
Absolutely. We're always, community service is very important to Allen Pritchett and Bassett. So, yeah, we have done things with speaking to classes of accounting students or business students at ABAC or Moultrie Tech. So anytime someone wants to host a workshop or you know, give some sort of educational tool like that, we would be more than willing to help out. So they can just give us a call at APB.
And set up a time.
That's right.
Schedule it.
That's right.
Great.
Now, Carrie, tell us where your office is located.
We are located at 405 Tift Avenue. So it's sort of the corner of 2nd and Tift.
Okay. And if someone wants to call your office, what is the phone number there?
229-382-6960.
And website?
Website is www.apbcpa.com. It is alphabet soup, I know, but it's www.apbcpa.com.
Well, thank you both for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having
Giving
us.
us some great tips.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Tea Time. We'll see you next time right here on Plant TIFNet's Wiregrass Channel 3.